Across the vast and breathtaking landscapes of America's national parks, a timeless drama unfolds with every sunrise. The first rays of light spill over ancient mountain ranges, painting the sky in hues of gold and rose, while a gentle mist clings to the valleys and forests below. These parks are living museums, preserving not only the grandeur of the land, but the delicate balance of life that has thrived here for millennia. From the icy, windswept shores of Alaska, where glaciers carve into frigid seas, to the sun-baked deserts of California, where life clings to every drop of water, these protected lands are more than just spectacles of natural beauty. They are immense nurseries, cradles for the next generation of wildlife, each habitat offering its own unique challenges and opportunities for survival. In these wild places, new lives begin. Small, fragile, and full of promise. A baby deer, legs trembling, takes its first breath in the cool forest air, surrounded by towering trees and the distant calls of songbirds. Every birth is a miracle, a testament to the resilience of life in a world of immense wonder. Deep in the heart of the wilderness, a tiny brown bear cub stumbles from its den, blinking in the dazzling spring light. The world is vast and unfamiliar, filled with scents and sounds that will shape its instincts and future. Along a rushing riverbank, a slick, dark-eyed otter pup hesitates at the water's edge before slipping into the current for the very first time. The river is both playground and peril, a place where the young must quickly learn to swim, hunt, and evade danger. In the tangled wetlands of the south, a miniature alligator no bigger than a human hand cracks open its shell beneath the watchful gaze of its mother. The hatchling's journey begins in a world teeming with both predators and protectors, where survival depends on stealth and the safety of the nest. These are the wild babies, the future of their kind, born into an inheritance of stunning wilderness and profound danger. Each species, from the tiniest rodent to the mightiest elk, faces its own set of trials, shaped by the unique rhythms and hazards of their environment. Their first year is the most perilous of all. It is a journey fraught with uncertainty, a test of endurance, instinct, and the strength of family bonds. Steep cliffs, raging rivers, and sudden storms are just a few of the obstacles that must be overcome. For every young animal that takes its first step, the path to adulthood is lined with countless threats. Predators stalk from the skies and the shadows, eagles circle overhead, foxes prowl the underbrush, and even the smallest mistake can mean the difference between life and death. The elements, too, can be unforgiving. Blizzards, droughts, and wildfires test the limits of survival, while the simple act of finding food is a daily struggle. Survival is not guaranteed. In fact, for many, it is the exception rather than the rule. Barely half of all brown bear cubs will live to see their first birthday, often falling victim to starvation, predation, or the harsh climate. For an alligator hatchling, the odds are even steeper. Only 1 in 10 will survive the treacherous first year, as predators and environmental hazards claim the rest. This is the harsh reality of life in the wild. Yet in this world of constant challenge, there is also extraordinary resilience, intelligence, and devotion. Animals adapt in remarkable ways. Some develop camouflage, others learn to work together, and many rely on the wisdom passed down from their elders. The story of these wild babies is also the story of their parents. It is a tale of fierce maternal protection, of patient teaching, and of sacrifices made to give the young the best possible chance at life. In the animal kingdom, family bonds are often the strongest shield against the dangers of the wild. A mother bear will stand down a rival twice her size, risking everything to defend her cubs from harm. Her courage is legendary, her instincts honed by generations of survival in the unforgiving wilderness. An otter will tirelessly teach her pup to navigate a frozen world, guiding it through icy waters and showing it how to find food beneath the surface. These lessons are vital, for only the most skilled will thrive when winter returns. A father bird will risk his own life to lead a predator away from his nest, using clever tricks and daring flights to protect his vulnerable chicks. Such acts of bravery are repeated across the animal kingdom, each one a testament to the power of parental devotion. These are not just acts of instinct, they are profound expressions of care, passed down through generations, ensuring that life in all its vibrant forms continues. The bonds between parent and offspring are the threads that weave the fabric of survival in these wild places. This essay will journey into the heart of these wild nurseries, exploring the intimate stories of several young animals across America's most iconic national parks. From the dense forests of Yellowstone to the swamps of the Everglades, each park is a stage for stories of hope, struggle, and triumph. We will follow a family of brown bears in Katmai, where salmon runs fuel a season of growth, a determined otter pup in Yellowstone, learning to master the art of survival in a land of geysers and snow, and a lone alligator hatchling in the Everglades, where ancient reptiles rule the waterways. We will witness the secret lives of bobcat kittens, hidden in the shadows of the forest, the remarkable teamwork of prairie dogs, whose underground cities are marvels of engineering, and the clever courage of a snowy plover, whose tiny chick must blend into the sand to escape danger. Through their individual struggles and triumphs, we will see how these tiny creatures, with the help of their families and their own innate bravery, navigate the most critical year of their lives. In the wild heart of America, every day is a fight for survival, and every victory, no matter how small, is a celebration of life itself. In the vast, untamed wilderness of Katmai National Park, Alaska, a brown bear mother named Ursa emerges from her winter den into the crisp April air. The snow is still thick on the ground, but the promise of spring stirs her instincts into action. She is not alone. Tumbling behind her are three small, fuzzy cubs, an adventurous daughter, a playful son, and a more cautious little male named Thor. Each cub is unique, and Ursa must tailor her lessons to their different personalities, nurturing their strengths and guiding them through their weaknesses. For nearly 6 months, Ursa has not eaten, surviving on her fat reserves while nursing her young. She has lost 1/3 of her body weight, and a desperate hunger now drives her. Yet, even in her weakened state, her focus is unwavering. Her cubs' survival comes before her own needs. The rich milk her cubs depend on, 5 times more nourishing than a cow's, requires her to find food, and quickly. Every day she must balance the demands of feeding herself and providing for her cubs, teaching them through example and gentle nudges. Her very survival, and that of her tiny family, depends on the lessons she can teach them in the coming weeks. Ursa is both protector and teacher, her every action a demonstration of the skills her cubs will need to thrive. Their first classroom is a lush meadow in Hallow Bay. Here, Ursa grazes voraciously on sedge grass, a vital early spring food source that can be surprisingly high in protein. She shows her cubs how to identify the most nutritious shoots, using her keen sense of smell and experience to select the best patches. Her cubs watch her every move, their survival depending on mimicry. They nibble at the same grasses, learning what is safe to eat and what is not. Ursa is patient, allowing them to experiment but gently correcting them if they stray towards something dangerous. But grass alone is not enough to sustain them. Ursa knows she must lead them to the coast, to the mudflats that are exposed at low tide. This journey is itself a lesson. Navigating the landscape, reading the signs of changing weather, and staying alert for threats. There, buried in the dark, wet sand, are clams, a treasure trove of protein that will help her regain her strength and nourish her growing cubs. Ursa demonstrates how to sniff out the telltale signs of buried shellfish, teaching her cubs to use their senses to find hidden food. She demonstrates how to dig, using her powerful claws to unearth the hidden shellfish, and the cubs clumsily try to copy her. Each attempt is a lesson in patience and persistence, as they learn that survival often requires hard work and ingenuity. However, this coastal paradise holds great dangers. The greatest threat comes not from the environment but from their own kind. Ursa's vigilance is constant, and she teaches her cubs to be alert, to freeze and listen at the slightest hint of danger. A massive male bear, a giant named Andre, patrols this same territory. His presence is a lesson in the harsh realities of bear society, where strength and dominance rule. To a male bear, cubs are not kin but obstacles. He may try to kill them to force Ursa back into season, or simply see them as an easy meal. Ursa's defensive postures, her low growls and her readiness to flee are all lessons in reading body language and responding to threats. He can run faster than an Olympic sprinter, closing a 50-yard gap in mere seconds. Ursa teaches her cubs the importance of awareness and quick reactions, skills that may one day save their lives. Ursa is constantly vigilant, her nose testing the wind, her ears listening for any sign of his approach. She models the art of reading the environment, a skill her cubs must master to survive on their own. When Andre appears, she does not hesitate, leading her cubs in a frantic scramble up a steep, rocky bluff where the larger, heavier male cannot easily follow. This is a lesson in using the landscape for protection and in the value of quick thinking under pressure. The environment itself poses another lethal threat. The tides in this part of Alaska are extreme, rising with astonishing speed. Ursa's knowledge of the land and water is crucial, and she teaches her cubs to recognize the subtle cues of a changing tide. One afternoon, as the family forages for clams far out on the mudflats, the incoming tide begins to surround them, turning their feeding ground into a treacherous maze of deep channels. Ursa's urgency is palpable as she calls her cubs, teaching them to respond quickly to her signals. The cubs, still small and not yet strong swimmers, are at risk of being swept away by the powerful currents and drowning. Ursa's guidance is critical, and she encourages them with gentle nudges and reassuring sounds, teaching them to trust her and to persevere even when afraid. Ursa must guide them back to the safety of the shore, a race against the relentless water. Thor, the smallest and most cautious, struggles to keep up, but Ursa circles back, never leaving a cub behind. Her actions teach the importance of family, resilience, and the will to survive. It is a terrifying ordeal that teaches the cubs a harsh lesson about the power of the ocean, a lesson that will be critical for their survival in this unforgiving coastal world. Through every challenge, Ursa imparts not just the skills of survival, but the wisdom of caution, adaptability, and the fierce love that binds a family together in the wild. As autumn's golden hues fade beneath a blanket of snow, Yellowstone National Park transforms into a realm of ice and silence. The rivers slow, the air sharpens, and the land braces for the long, relentless winter ahead. Amid this frozen wilderness, a river otter mother and her 9-month-old pup prepare to face their greatest test yet. The world they know is changing fast, and survival will demand every ounce of their resilience. Winter has arrived early and with a vengeance. The Yellowstone River, once a lively ribbon of water, is now rapidly freezing over, its surface locking away the life beneath. The young pup, still a novice hunter, is more interested in playful antics and stealing fish from his mother than in learning the skills he desperately needs. His inexperience is a dangerous liability in a world where every meal must be earned. He is full of energy, bounding through the snow and sliding down icy banks, but the clock is ticking. The playful days of youth are nearly over, and the harsh lessons of winter are about to begin. Soon his mother will drive him away to fend for himself. If he cannot master the art of fishing beneath the ice, he will not survive the season. The stakes are higher than ever. Every moment is a lesson. The pup must watch, learn and remember, for soon he will face the wild alone, with only his instincts and his mother's teachings to guide him. The freezing river is both a barrier and a threat. As the ice thickens, it not only makes fishing more difficult, but it also seals off the otter's primary escape route from predators. Open water becomes scarce, shrinking to isolated holes in the ice. Each day the world grows smaller and more dangerous for the otter family. Otters are agile and swift in water, but on land they are slow and exposed. The snow is deep, the cold is biting, and every step away from the river is a risk. A starving coyote, driven by hunger, stalks the riverbank. Its keen nose and patient eyes track every movement, waiting for the otters to make a mistake. In the water, the otters are untouchable, twisting and diving with ease. But as the ice closes in, their sanctuary shrinks and the danger grows. Soon only a single, ever smaller hole remains in the thick ice, a fragile lifeline in a world of white. The coyote waits, knowing that eventually the otters will be forced to cross the land in search of open water. On the snow, the predator has the advantage. The mother senses the urgency. Every action is deliberate, every lesson vital. She knows that hesitation could mean disaster. The inevitable moment arrives. The last hole freezes over, sealing their fate and forcing a decision. With no other choice, the mother leads her pup on a perilous 10-mile journey across the snow-bound wilderness. Their destination? The Firehole River, a rare geothermal stream that never freezes, even in the coldest months. The journey is grueling. The snow is deep and treacherous, hiding obstacles and sapping the pup's strength with every step. The small otter struggles, his short legs barely clearing the drifts. On land his vision is poor, and the endless white disorients him. At one point he loses sight of his mother, wandering off into the silent, blinding expanse. The cold presses in, and fear takes hold. He chirps desperately, his calls echoing across the snow, hoping for a response. But the sound draws more than just his mother. The coyote, ever watchful, closes in, drawn by the cries of the vulnerable pup. The race for survival becomes a race against time. Just as the coyote is about to strike, the mother otter bursts onto the scene, answering her pup's call with fierce determination. She confronts the predator head-on, risking her own safety to protect her son. The standoff is tense, but her bravery gives the pup a chance to escape. Reunited, mother and pup press on, their bond unbroken. At last they reach the banks of the Firehole River, where steam rises from the water, a promise of warmth and life. The geothermal waters offer a rare sanctuary, a place where the ice cannot reach and food is plentiful. Here the pup is safe from the cold and the ever-present threat of predators. For the first time in days, he can rest and recover. Surrounded by abundance, the young otter finally has the chance to practice the skills his mother has taught him. The lessons of survival are put to the test in these gentle, steaming waters. He dives, twists and turns, and at last he catches his very own fish, a hard-won prize in a world that offers no second chances. It is a moment of triumph, a crucial step on his journey to independence, and a testament to the unwavering guidance and courage of his mother. In the wilds of Yellowstone, every day is a battle, but for this otter pup the journey has just begun. In the vast watery expanse of the Florida Everglades, a matriarch alligator guards her newly hatched brood. This unique ecosystem, a mosaic of sawgrass marshes, mangrove forests, and slow-moving waters, is both a cradle of life and a battleground for survival. Dozens of tiny gators, perfect miniatures of their powerful mother, swarm around her. These waters are their nursery, filled with both opportunity and peril. Among them are three siblings embarking on a life where the odds are stacked impossibly against them. Each day they must navigate a world teeming with unseen dangers. The Everglades is a world teeming with predators, and for a hatchling danger lurks in every shadow and beneath every ripple. The dense vegetation provides both cover and concealment, but also hides threats. For these small princes and princesses of the swamp, the journey to becoming a swamp king is a brutal gauntlet. They must learn to navigate through a labyrinth of obstacles and predators. Only one in every 10 hatchlings will survive their first year, a stark reminder of the unforgiving nature of this subtropical wilderness. The swamp is a place where only the fittest endure. The mother alligator is a formidable protector, a vigilant guardian who will defend her young with ferocious intensity. Her presence is a deterrent to many would-be predators. However, she cannot be everywhere at once. The vastness of the swamp means that her young often wander beyond her protective reach. The curious and adventurous hatchlings often stray from her side, exploring the shallow waterways on their own. These explorations are crucial for their development, but fraught with danger. This is when they are most vulnerable. Open water offers no hiding places, making them easy targets. The first of the three siblings learns this lesson with tragic finality. The swamp's predators are always on the lookout for an easy meal. Venturing into a patch of open water, it is ambushed from below. The stillness of the water belies the danger lurking beneath. A largemouth bass, itself a formidable predator, erupts from the depths and snatches the tiny gator in an instant. The attack is a reminder of the constant vigilance required to survive. The attack is swift and silent, a stark illustration of the eat-or-be-eaten law that governs the Everglades. Every ripple in the water can signal life or death. The two remaining siblings continue their journey, learning to bask in the sun to regulate their body temperature, a critical behavior for all cold-blooded reptiles. Sunlight is essential for their growth and energy. While one rests on a warm log, another danger reveals itself. The swamp is a place where threats can emerge at any moment. A water moccasin, also known as a cottonmouth, slithers nearby. This venomous snake is a master of stealth and a deadly predator. This venomous pit viper hunts not by sight but by sensing heat. Its ability to detect warm-blooded prey makes it a formidable hunter. To the snake, the warm body of the young alligator is an irresistible beacon. The hatchling's stillness is no match for the snake's keen senses. It strikes with lightning speed, delivering a fatal venomous bite. The swamp's food chain is merciless and swift. The second sibling succumbs, leaving only one to carry on the family line. The harsh reality of the Everglades claims another victim. The lone survivor has now witnessed two of the many threats that prowl its world. Each encounter is a lesson in the art of survival. Now truly alone, the last surviving gator must learn quickly. The swamp is an unforgiving teacher, and only the most adaptable will thrive. The greatest threat of all still looms adult male alligators, notorious cannibals that will not hesitate to prey on their own kind. These giants are the undisputed rulers of the swamp. The young prince must become a master of stealth, hiding among the dense vegetation, learning to hunt insects and small fish for himself. Each successful hunt is a step towards independence. Every day is a lesson in survival, every meal a small victory. The swamp's bounty is hard-earned and fiercely contested. His goal is to reach a length of 4 feet. At this size, he will be less vulnerable to many of the swamp's predators. At that size, he will no longer be on the menu for most predators. He will have earned his place in the swamp's hierarchy. He will transition from being the hunted to being the hunter, on his way to claiming his own territory and one day becoming the apex predator his mother is, a true king of the swamp. The Everglades, with its intricate web of life, will be his domain. Deep within the labyrinth of rocky canyons in Joshua Tree National Park, a bobcat mother tends to her two one-month-old kittens. These canyons, carved by wind and time, offer a maze of shelter and shadow, perfect for a family that thrives on secrecy. She is a master of camouflage and stealth, about twice the size of a domestic cat, her tawny coat blending seamlessly with the sun-baked rocks. Her kittens, fluffy and spotted, are miniature echoes of her, born with blue eyes that will slowly turn gold as they grow. Their world is a small, protected den, a secret place tucked away from the prying eyes of the Mojave Desert. The den is often hidden beneath boulders or within dense thickets, providing both shade from the relentless sun and a fortress against predators. Here the kittens spend their days in playful discovery, their tiny bodies tumbling and pouncing in the safety of their hidden home. Their seemingly innocent roughhousing is actually a vital part of their education. Every leap, swipe and tumble is a lesson in survival, teaching them the skills they will need to hunt and defend themselves. Through wrestling and pouncing on each other, they are building strength, honing their balance and developing the crucial motor skills they will need to become expert hunters. Even at this young age, their instincts are sharp and their play mimics the real-life challenges they will soon face. The bobcat mother is a solitary hunter, known as the coyote of cats for her resourcefulness and adaptability. She moves silently through the desert, her senses finely tuned to every sound and scent. Her territory spans about 1 square mile, a patchwork of arid washes, rocky outcrops and sparse vegetation. She patrols it diligently, marking boundaries and seeking out prey to feed her hungry offspring. She hunts almost anything she can catch, from rabbits and rodents to birds and lizards. In the harsh desert, food is scarce, and she relies on a patient, silent stalk followed by a powerful pounce rather than a long chase, to conserve precious energy. While she is away, the kittens must remain hidden. Their survival depends on their ability to stay silent and unseen, blending into the shadows of their rocky den. They are not yet strong enough to defend themselves, and the desert is full of dangers. The Mojave is a land of extremes, scorching days, freezing nights, and a host of predators lurking nearby. A hawk soaring high above could easily snatch a careless kitten, and a coyote on the ground would make quick work of one that strayed too far from the safety of the den. Even rattlesnakes and other bobcats pose a threat. As the kittens grow, they begin to venture out with their mother, taking their first tentative steps into the wider world. Each outing is a lesson in caution and awareness. They learn to follow her by tracking the distinctive white spots on the back of her ears and the tip of her tail, which act as beacons in the dim light of dawn and dusk. These markings help the kittens stay close, even in the tangled undergrowth or rocky terrain. They watch her every move as she hunts, absorbing the lessons of silence, patience and precision that define their species. The desert demands efficiency. Every failed hunt is a risk, every success a lifeline. They learn to read the landscape, to identify the scent of prey and the scent of danger. The desert is a living tapestry of smells and sounds, and the kittens must learn to interpret its subtle cues. Even their older sister from the previous year, who has not yet left to find her own territory, is part of this extended family, providing an extra set of eyes and another example from which to learn. In the secretive world of bobcats, family bonds are rare but invaluable. The kittens will remain under their mother's protective care and tutelage until the fall. During this time, they will experience the full spectrum of desert life, from the cool, starry nights to the blistering midday heat. By then, they will have learned the essential skills needed to survive on their own. Their play will have become practice, and their instincts sharpened by months of observation and imitation. The bonds of family will be broken by the unyielding demands of nature, and they will be forced to disperse, leaving their mother's territory to find their own. This is the way of the bobcat, solitary, secretive, and fiercely independent. This transition to independence is perhaps the most dangerous time of all. Alone for the first time, the young bobcat must rely on everything it has learned to survive. They must navigate a new and unfamiliar world, establish their own hunting grounds, and avoid conflicts with other bobcats and predators. The desert is unforgiving, and only the most resourceful will succeed. Their future depends entirely on how well they learned the lessons taught in the shadows of their desert home. In this vast, secretive wilderness, every bobcat kitten's story is a testament to the power of adaptation, resilience, and the enduring mystery of wild survival. On the wide-open plains of Montana, near the grandeur of Glacier National Park, a bustling prairie dog town thrives. But this is just one example of a powerful survival strategy found throughout the animal kingdom: safety in numbers. Whether it's a colony of prairie dogs, a herd of bison, or a flock of birds, animals across the world have learned that there is strength in unity. In the prairie dog town, hundreds of individuals form a complex, sprawling city, home to a vast extended family. Among the residents are several litters of 6-week-old pups, just beginning to explore the world above ground. Like young starlings learning to fly within the safety of a murmuration, these pups rely on the group for protection and guidance. For these small, sociable rodents, survival is not a solitary endeavour. Fish, too, form schools that move as one, confusing predators and reducing the risk for each individual. Their entire existence is built on community, cooperation, and constant communication. Wolves, for example, hunt in packs, using teamwork to bring down prey much larger than themselves. This intricate social structure is the key to their defense, turning a town of vulnerable individuals into a formidable collective force. Bison form defensive circles around their young, presenting a wall of horns to would-be predators. The greatest strength of the prairie dog town is its sophisticated alarm system, a trait mirrored in many group-living animals. Sentries are always on duty, perched on the mounds of dirt outside their burrows, scanning the sky and the horizon for any sign of danger. In a flock, birds react instantly to a single alarm, wheeling away from predators in perfect unison. Their communication is remarkably complex. They have different alarm calls for different types of predators. One call might signal a hawk overhead, sending everyone diving for cover, while another warns of a coyote on the prowl. This early warning system is crucial for the pups, who are still learning to recognize threats. It gives them the precious seconds they need to scramble back to the safety of the burrow before a predator can strike. One day, a new threat slithers into the heart of the town: a rattlesnake. The snake moves silently, its patterned skin providing excellent camouflage among the dry grasses. Its target is the nursery burrows, where the unsuspecting pups are an easy meal. But the snake's stealth is no match for the town's vigilance. A sentry spots the intruder and immediately sounds a specific alarm, a rapid series of chirps that means snake. The alarm ripples through the colony in an instant, ruining the rattlesnake's element of surprise. The pups are alerted and retreat, while the adult prairie dogs prepare for a confrontation. Instead of hiding, the adult prairie dogs do something remarkable. They form a posse. A group of brave individuals gathers and begins to harass the rattlesnake. They surround it, kicking dirt and lunging at its tail, always staying just out of striking range. This mobbing behavior is a calculated risk, designed to annoy and intimidate the dangerous predator until it decides the town is not worth the trouble. The strategy works. Overwhelmed by the coordinated harassment, the rattlesnake gives up the hunt and retreats. The town is safe. The prairie dogs celebrate their victory with a unique acrobatic jump-yip call, a display of communal triumph that reaffirms the power of their unity. Across the animal world, from the smallest fish to the largest mammals, safety in numbers remains one of nature's most effective survival strategies. On the sandy, windswept beaches of Channel Islands National Park, a tiny shorebird called the snowy plover undertakes the monumental task of raising a family. Here, survival is a daily battle, and every move is a calculated risk. The nest is hardly a nest at all, just a shallow scrape in the sand holding a clutch of perfectly camouflaged eggs. This minimalistic approach is both a strength and a weakness. While the eggs blend seamlessly with the grains around them, they are left exposed to the harsh elements and a host of hungry predators. Raising the young is a shared responsibility, and teamwork is essential in such a perilous environment. Both the male and female take turns incubating the eggs to keep them warm, with the father often taking the dangerous night shift. Darkness brings new threats, nocturnal mammals like foxes and skunks, as well as owls, all on the prowl for an easy meal. This partnership is essential for survival, as the exposed nest is incredibly vulnerable to predators from both the land and the air. The open beach offers little shelter, and the plovers must always be on high alert. The parents must rely on camouflage, vigilance, and an extraordinary display of courage to protect their future offspring. Their keen eyesight and constant scanning of the horizon are their first line of defense. The ever-present danger materializes in the form of a hawk soaring high above the beach. But hawks are not the only threat. Gulls, ravens, and even domestic dogs can spell disaster for a plover family. The predator's keen eyes scan the shoreline for any sign of a meal, and the plover's nest is directly in its path. The open habitat means there is nowhere to hide, only the hope that the nest remains unseen. As the hawk begins to descend, the incubating parent, in this case the father, springs into action. He must act quickly and decisively to save his vulnerable eggs. He cannot fight the hawk directly. He is far too small. The size difference is staggering, and a direct confrontation would be fatal. Instead, he employs a brilliant and selfless strategy of deception, one that has evolved over countless generations. He scuttles away from the nest, dragging one wing along the sand as if it were broken. This is the start of the plover's signature broken wing display. He flops and flutters pathetically, making himself look like an easy, injured target. The performance is so convincing that even experienced predators are often fooled. This broken wing display is a masterful piece of theatre, a calculated risk designed to save his family. The plover's deception is not just about acting, it's about reading the predator's behaviour and adjusting his performance to keep the threat focused on him. The hawk, seeing what appears to be a guaranteed meal, changes its target. The plover's ruse is working. It diverts its attention from the camouflaged eggs and begins to pursue the injured plover. The eggs, motionless and blending into the sand, are left undisturbed. The father bravely leads the predator farther and farther away from the nest, drawing it down the beach. Every step is a gamble, but the farther he gets, the safer his eggs become. He allows the hawk to get tantalizingly close, maintaining the illusion of vulnerability. Timing is everything. Too soon, and the hawk may return to the nest. Too late, and the plover risks his own life. Once he has lured the danger a safe distance away, the plover makes a miraculous recovery. In an instant, the act is over. His wing is, of course, perfectly fine. The deception is complete, and the predator is left bewildered. He bursts into the air and flies away, leaving the confused hawk behind. The eggs and the next generation are safe, at least for now. Shortly after this harrowing encounter, the chicks hatch. Their arrival marks the beginning of a new set of challenges. They are precocial, meaning they are born with their eyes open, covered in downy feathers, and are able to run within hours of emerging from the egg. But their mobility is both a blessing and a curse. Now they must avoid predators on their own, with only their father's guidance. A new chapter of parental care begins, but with a surprising twist. The open beach remains a dangerous place, and the family must stay constantly on the move to avoid detection. The mother plover's job is done. In this species, she leaves the family almost immediately after the chicks hatch. She leaves them in the care of the father, who must now shoulder the full burden of protection, teaching, and vigilance. The mother often seeks a new mate and starts another nest, continuing the cycle. For the next month, the father alone will be their dedicated guardian, teaching them to forage for tiny invertebrates along the shoreline and shielding them from danger with his watchful eye and his courageous heart. In the open, unforgiving world of the beach, the snowy plover's greatest weapon is not strength, but cunning, courage, and the art of deception. The stories of these wild babies, from the Alaskan coast to the Florida swamps, are woven together by unseen threads of instinct, learning, and love. Each young animal's struggle is unique, yet the principles of survival are universal. The most fundamental lesson is that life in the wild is a constant education, and the parents are the first and most important teachers. The brown bear cubs learning to dig for clams, the otter pup finally catching his own fish, and the bobcat kittens watching their mother hunt are all participating in a vital transfer of knowledge. This is not a formal classroom, but a living curriculum where every day presents a new test and failure can be fatal. Intelligence and adaptability are critical tools for navigating these perilous worlds. The prairie dogs demonstrate a remarkable form of collective intelligence, using a complex language of alarm calls and coordinated defensive strategies to protect their community. The snowy plover father shows a different kind of intelligence, using cunning and deception to outwit a powerful predator. Even the lone alligator hatchling, learning to use the dense swamp vegetation for cover, is exhibiting a nascent form of strategic thinking. These are not simple, pre-programmed behaviors. They are sophisticated responses to complex and ever-changing environments, proving that intelligence is as mighty a weapon as claws or teeth. Bravery, too, comes in many forms. It is seen in the sheer force of the mother bear, Ursa, standing her ground to protect her cubs from a giant male. It is present in the mother otter, who confronts a coyote to save her lost pup. It is embodied in the plover father, who risks his own life by making himself a target. This courage is not born from a lack of fear, but from a parental drive so powerful that it overrides the instinct for self-preservation. It is a testament to the profound bonds that exist in the animal kingdom, a fierce and selfless devotion that ensures the next generation has a chance to see another sunrise. Ultimately, the survival of these wild babies often depends on the strength of their family, whether that family is a mother and her cubs or an entire town of prairie dogs. Teamwork is a recurring theme. The plover parents share incubation duties, and the bobcat's older sister provides another layer of security for the new kittens. This web of relationships provides a crucial safety net during the most vulnerable stages of life. It is through these connections, through learning, through intelligence, and through the courage of others, that these young animals gain the strength and skills they need to eventually stand on their own and continue the timeless cycle of life. Consider the young wolf, learning to hunt under the watchful eyes of the pack. The pack's coordinated efforts teach the young wolf the importance of strategy and cooperation. Or the young eagle, taking its first flight, encouraged by the calls of its parents. Each flap of its wings is a lesson in perseverance and the will to soar above challenges. As seasons change, these young animals must also adapt, learning to find food and shelter in an ever-shifting landscape. The harsh winter teaches resilience, while the abundance of spring offers lessons in opportunity and growth. Play, too, is a critical part of their education, honing their skills and strengthening social bonds. Through play, they learn the balance of competition and cooperation, preparing them for the complex dynamics of adult life. Every step they take, every new experience is a lesson in survival, adaptation, and the relentless pursuit of life. As the sun sets on another day, these wild babies carry forward the wisdom of their ancestors, ensuring the continuity of their species. In the end, it is the lessons learned from nature, the bonds of family, and the spirit of resilience that guide them through the trials of life. And it is through these timeless lessons that they not only survive but thrive, continuing the majestic cycle of life in America's national parks. The first year of life for a wild animal in America's national parks is an epic journey, one that begins with uncertainty, but is filled with hope. It is a story of fragility and fortitude, of immense danger and incredible devotion. Each sunrise brings new challenges, but also new opportunities for growth and survival. We have witnessed the struggles of the brown bear cubs in Katmai, learning to fish and play under their mother's watchful eye, the icy trials of the Yellowstone otter, who braves frigid waters to find food and warmth, the lonely fight of the Everglades alligator, whose first steps are taken in a world of lurking danger, the desert schooling of the Bobcat kittens, learning to stalk and pounce in the unforgiving heat, the communal defense of the prairie dogs who stand together against predators, and the selfless courage of the snowy plover, shielding its chicks from the elements and threats. Each of these stories highlights the immense challenges that nature presents, where survival is a hard-won prize. Yet time and again we see resilience shine through. The odds are long, and many young lives are lost, but this is the unyielding rhythm of the natural world, a world where hope is born with every new life. Yet these tales are not defined by tragedy, but by an inspiring resilience. We see it in the elk calf that rises after a fall, in the wolf pup that learns to howl, and in the eagle chick that dares its first flight. They reveal the profound and powerful instinct of parents to protect, teach and nurture their young. A mother's fierce defence, a father's clever decoy, and the gentle guidance of elders all play a part, and a community's united stand, like a herd of bison shielding calves from wolves, or a flock of birds mobbing a hawk, are powerful testaments to the deep-seated drive to ensure that life goes on. It is in these moments of bravery and sacrifice that we find the heart of the wild, beating strong and undaunted. The intelligence, adaptability and cooperation displayed by these animals are not just fascinating behaviours. They are the very tools that have allowed their species to endure for millennia against all odds. From the beaver building a dam to the monarch butterfly navigating thousands of miles, these acts of resilience are woven into the fabric of the wild. The survival of these wild babies is a mirror reflecting the health of their homes. When they thrive, so does the land. The national parks provide a sanctuary, a protected space where these timeless dramas can continue to unfold generation after generation. By safeguarding these vast wildernesses from human encroachment and environmental degradation, we give hope not just to animals, but to ourselves. We are not just preserving scenic landscapes, we are protecting the very heartbeat of nature. We are safeguarding these intricate nurseries where the next generation learns, grows and dreams. We are ensuring that the bear cubs have their clam beds, the otters have their clean rivers, and the plovers have their undisturbed beaches. The future of these wild families is inextricably linked to our commitment to conservation. Every action we take, no matter how small, can make a difference. As a new day dawns across America, the promise of renewal is everywhere. A new generation of wild babies is taking its first breath, stepping into a world shaped by our choices. A new set of parents is beginning the arduous task of guiding them through their perilous first year, teaching them the skills they need to survive. There is hope in this endless cycle, in every sunrise and every tiny footprint left in the dew. There is hope in the resilience of nature, in the green shoots that emerge after a storm, and in the young animal that rises after a fall. There is hope in the strength of family bonds, in the unity of herds, flocks and packs. And there is hope in the indomitable spirit of these tiny survivors, who face a vast world with courage and determination. Their journey is a powerful reminder of the preciousness and tenacity of life in all its forms, and of the wild beauty that still endures. We all share a responsibility to ensure that these wild, wonderful stories will continue to be told for generations to come. Support conservation, volunteer, educate others, and cherish these wild places. Under the watchful eye of a hopeful dawn, let us stand together for the wild, so that every sunrise brings new hope, new life, and a future where nature's resilience continues to inspire us all. In the heart of Yosemite National Park, a new chapter begins. Among the towering granite cliffs and ancient sequoias, a pair of mountain lion cubs take their first tentative steps into the wild. Their journey is a blend of curiosity and caution, as every rock and shadow holds both wonder and peril. Under the watchful eye of their mother, the cubs learn the skills essential for survival. She teaches them to stalk silently through the underbrush, to leap with precision, and to listen for the subtle sounds of both prey and predators. Their days are filled with playful moments, pouncing on each other and chasing leaves. But each game is a lesson in disguise, honing their instincts and agility. The rugged terrain of Yosemite is both a playground and a proving ground. The cubs must navigate steep cliffs, cross rushing streams, and avoid the dangers that lurk in the shadows. Coyotes, bears, and even other mountain lions pose constant threats, yet with each challenge overcome they grow stronger and more confident. As the sun sets behind the iconic half-dome, the cubs huddle close to their mother. She purrs softly, a reassuring lullaby in the wilderness. The night is long and filled with unknowns, but under the protective gaze of their mother the cubs find safety and warmth. These young mountain lions represent the future of Yosemite's wild heart. Their survival depends on the lessons they learn and the strength they build. It is a testament to the resilience and adaptability of nature and a reminder of the delicate balance that sustains these majestic creatures. As dawn breaks and the first light of a new day touches the peaks, the cubs rise, ready to face another day in their magnificent home. Their journey is just beginning, a journey of growth, learning, and the unbreakable bond of family. In the vast wilderness of Yosemite, a new generation is finding its place, carrying with it the hope and promise of the wild. Across the sweeping grasslands of Yellowstone, a new life emerges with the dawn. Bison calves, rust-coloured and unsteady, take their very first steps into a world both beautiful and unforgiving. Surrounded by the largest land mammals in North America, these newborns are watched over by the ever-vigilant eyes of the herd. Within hours of birth, calves must rise and run, an instinct honed by centuries of survival. The protective circle of mothers and aunts shields them from lurking wolves and prowling bears, while older siblings gently nudge and guide them. Every movement of the herd is a lesson, how to graze, when to rest, and where to find safety. As the seasons shift, the bison begin their ancient migrations, crossing rivers and valleys in search of fresh grazing grounds. For the young calves, these journeys are tests of endurance and spirit. Side by side with their mothers, they learn to navigate rushing streams and open plains, finding strength in the unity of the herd. These early days are both fragile and formative. The bonds forged among the bison and the lessons learned from the wild will shape the calves for life on the Yellowstone plains. In this vast and timeless landscape, each bison calf carries the legacy of generations and the promise of Yellowstone's enduring wildness. Deep in the heart of Denali National Park, beneath the shelter of tangled roots and ancient stones, a new chapter unfolds. Hidden from prying eyes, wolf pups squirm and tumble in the safety of their den. Their world is small, just a patch of earth and the warmth of their siblings, but it brims with possibility. From their very first days, play becomes their language. Clumsy paws swipe at twitching tails, and soft yips echo into the cool Alaskan air. But each playful pounce is more than a game. It's training for the life that lies ahead. Through these joyful skirmishes, the pups learn the skills they'll need to hunt, communicate, and survive. The pack is never far. Parents and older siblings bring food and protection, teaching the young ones the meaning of loyalty and cooperation. Every lesson is vital, for Denali is a land of extremes, where blizzards can sweep the tundra and prey can be scarce. As the pups grow, the boundaries of their world expand. Their first ventures beyond the den are cautious and wide-eyed, guided by the reassuring presence of the pack. In time they will join the hunt, their voices joining the ancient chorus that echoes across the Alaskan wilds. In Denali, each wolf pup's journey is a testament to resilience, family, and the enduring spirit of the wilderness.